Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Space Age. Episode 20, the big 2-0. We're trying to grind our way up to 300% LDS, low density structure productivity, so that we can start a proper mega base. I'll explain more when we jump into it. If you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe for me, that would be great. Other than that, let's go. We're here on Vulcanus. This low density structure's productivity. We're on productivity 9. What we need is we need to get up to 15, if you can believe it. 15 will get us to 300% LDS productivity with these productivity module Mark 3s. Legendary, because these are worth 100% productivity on their own. The foundries have some built-in productivity, so we just need the research to do the rest. Once we've got to 300%, we've got free and infinite legendary plastic, legendary copper, legendary steel. But as you can see, low density structure 9 is 38k. That's not too bad. 129k. All right, that's getting a bit much. 437k. 309 science per minute. That ain't gonna cut it. My quick back of the napkin maths. That's about 8 years. That's not true. It's a long time. It's not 8 years. That was a joke. So we're here on Vulcanus. We got the train up. We've built some rail spaghetti. I love rail spaghetti, and I love the elevated rails make rail spaghetti even more possible. We finished this off last time. This is our very modest little Vulcanus science thing that makes about 500 a minute. And we'll ship this backwards and forwards, and we'll go back to Nauvis with some goodies, and we'll bolster the science on Nauvis to try and get a decent rate of science. So thankfully this one only needs automation, which is red, logistics, which is green, chemical, which is blue, production, which is purple, and metallurgic science packs. We don't need to worry about getting extra space science or getting extra yellow science or anything like that. So this is fairly doable, fairly easy. The big headache is of course going to be upscaling production science packs, because this is the worst Nauvisian science. Of course it is, we all know this to be true. So the train is just going to bring this stuff backwards and forwards. I built a train rather than building a belt. I realised I could have built a belt, but let's build a train. Why not? I realised I could squeeze the ramp in here, and I love rail spaghetti. I just love the belts going under the elevated rails. I think it's really cool looking. Goes into some logistics chests, and off we go. So let's go back to Nauvis and try and design some better science modules. With our starter legendary production chains here, we can do quite easily productivity module 2s in legendary and speed module 2s in legendary. Productivity module 3s we're of course working on with the egg gambling, and if you hear a ding at any point, that's your cue to take a note to celebrate that we've rolled a legendary egg in the system somewhere. And therefore we are getting 1.5 productivity modules due to the 50% productivity bonus on the electromagnetic plant. But in the interim, because that process is quite slow for now, in the interim, productivity module 2s at legendary are 15% productivity, which is already better than a normal and an uncommon productivity module 3. And speed modules is the same. Obviously it's the same because the numbers are all the same. These are 75% speed at legendary, which is already better than a normal and an uncommon speed module 3. Because we don't have any special tungsten carbide, and I don't really have a decent supply of the interim qualities of advanced circuits or processing units, so we'll just do it like this for now. And then of course the benefit of that is we can just repurpose those speed modules, take them out, put them in the system to make the speed module Mark IIIs. So, we've got that stuff here on Now V's being delivered. Including some legendary beacons, which are of course very easy to make as well with that stuff. Steel, copper, electronic circuits, advanced circuits. Whoops, so that's a good start. So I've done most of it, in fact. This is the redesigned purple science. This, you'll find this in the blueprint book under episode 20. No, episode 19. We didn't do any blueprint stuff last time. Maybe we did. Maybe we did. I don't know. I'll make a book with some stuff. So we're using legendary Prod 2s in the actual science assemblers themselves. So this will get us 461 a minute. Couple of legendary beacons just to speed this up. So these are crafting speed 5.1875. Fact fans. This needs just This needs just over a blue belt of rails. So probably can't quite tell, but the rail stuff is on a green belt here. They just merge into a green belt. Makes all the rails. No speed or no speed beacons or anything needed there. Iron sticks, electric furnaces, and of course prod module 1s in the electromagnetic plants. So this is in the blueprint. It's a bit nicer in the blueprint just because of where I decided to put it in the base. I had to weave myself around this stupid lubricant pipe and bring the stone and the steel in here because I wouldn't get the splitters in there. But this works. This is good. Not too much of a headache. Actually quite easy. And that's mostly because, as I say, these legendary beacons are extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. Yeah, so this is 7.76 rails into 1.24 science packs out a second. Looking at it, well, no, I'll talk about that later. Blue science shouldn't be much harder. Red and green science should be also easy. We are also very slowly upgrading these. Created 100 legendary productivity module 3s at 103 hours, 14 minutes, 47 seconds. So good, that works. Let's upgrade the other sciences as well. They're a lot easier than this one. This one, as I say, it wasn't too much of a headache. It's just so many intermediates that go into products that then go into the science. It's a real pain in the arse. Blue science was extremely easy. Legendary beacons with some legendary speed modules in. And some legendary productivity modules gets us up to 472 a minute. So that's handy. And red and green. This was ironically ever so slightly harder just because I had to balance getting enough inserters and belts. And because I was being stubborn, I didn't want to tear it all down. I just wanted to put the beacons in and be done with it. It uses slightly more iron than it did before now, of course. But it works totally fine. It actually produces 708 a minute. It is vastly overscaled, but that's fine. As I say, I was being stubborn. I wanted to just use the same number of assembly machines that I had before and just, yeah. So we're putting these into boxes with a backlog so that, you know, we can overproduce if we need to. I've extended this somewhat as well. I'm still not 100% sure exactly how these numbers work. 525 a minute, is that... It must be raw, right? Because when you look at that number, 525 science packs, but then you hover over this and it says science per minute 1918, you can see the increase there where I turned it off and then added a few more labs and then turned it back on. So we're on about 2,000 science per minute, which is... As a veteran Factorio 1.1 player, just this being 2,000 science per minute, I wouldn't believe you. Anchorman.gif, I don't believe you. But of course these have got legendary productivity module 3s in, and they're biolabs, so they're 100% more productivity and 50% science drain, so that's already 3 times as much science. And then because productivity stacks, right? Don't forget that you have iron being 100% more productive, so you've got twice as much iron. That iron goes into green circuits, so you've got extra free productivity there. So you get 50% because of the electromagnetic plants on the circuits, so that's 50% more. Again, it compounds very, very quickly. I increased the constant here to 300 and changed these to stack inserters, so you can see that they are in nice little stacks just to get a bit more science on the belt very quickly. I'm determined to make this sushi thing work for as long as I possibly can. And in my opinion it looks even cooler now, because not only is it sushi belt, they're all different heights as the inserters take one off the top. You know? One off the top and any other 5, please, Carol. My god, I'm old. So that's working very well. So that we've already managed to get our way up to productivity 11. We've still got some ways to go here, but this says it's going to take half an hour to get this 86,000. So you know, we're looking at probably about 8 hours of this, but that's okay. We've done that. We've done the hard work. Really, we can do some housekeeping stuff. Special housekeeping episode. Every episode's a bloody housekeeping episode. So one of the things I want to do for sure is I want to make sure the asteroid farming, I briefly touched on this in the last episode, asteroid farming's all well and good. We need a dedicated platform for each one of these. We can't be having the whole system back up because we've got too much calcite somewhere. You know, so the calcite is backing up all the way to here. This belt is entirely full with legendary calcite asteroids, and then nothing else is happening. We need a dedicated one for each of these. And if we don't need any more legendary iron, then that platform just sits there idle. It doesn't stop the other two from doing what they need. So we'll do a very slight redesign on this, and then copy and paste it down twice to get those done. Which will of course mean bringing in lots more fusion reactors and stuff from Aquilo. This is huge overkill, it turns out. I really thought that, like... Well, for one, I forgot that quality modules don't actually increase the energy cost of a machine. These do. Quality modules do. And these speed modules do. I really thought that 2 fusion reactors was prudent, you know, like... Why build 1 when you can build 2 for twice the price? Contact, Carl Sagan. Or was that just in the movie version? I don't know. But if we look at the electronic chart for the whole, like, 17 hours that this has been running, even at its extreme peak, we've only used 10% of that power. We'll call it future-proofing. We'll call it future-proofing. There's a lot of space here. You know, we can do other stuff with it, I guess. Other than that, it's working well. Ammo is very good. I'd like to maybe use a stack inserter somewhere. You can use a stack inserter to, like, let's editor mode this. Surfaces. Platform 6. You can use stack inserters to stack a belt, like, for you. So... yeah, if we do... we'll do this. If we do this, then it takes the items off the belt here. That wasn't the best idea, actually. Let's do it here, where we can balance it afterwards. Give me a balancer. Give me a balancer, or a splitter, or whatever they're called in this flippin' game. There we go. So you can do this to sort of increase the capacity of the belts fourfold. Well, this is obviously not very useful anywhere else, but it's very useful on a space platform. There's obviously a million different better ways to do this. I'm just showing you as an example. So we are taking ammo stacked 1 high here, and we are putting it back onto the belt here 4 high. Now, of course, when the stacked ammo comes back around, we're kind of wasting some time. But that's also fine, because if a turret takes an ammo off the top of this stack, then we'll want to restack it. So in fact, it might be better to just put loads down like this, and then put this down like here. And you don't need this. Then you can do that. Ding! We're in editor mode though, that doesn't make any difference. So I should have incorporated that into the design really. I just didn't want to go through the rigmarole of shipping 50 stack inserters up to each rocket just for the sake of doing this. Clearly ammo is not a problem, and we only get stronger as well. It's not like the asteroids have an evolution factor and the asteroids get stronger. We only get stronger as we research more physical projectile damage. What's happened to you? You've picked up a quality one, what? Excuse me? There's a quality... maybe I accidentally had a quality module in one of the assemblers for a moment. Okay, anyway, that was a very, very brief sidebar. I put solar panels down. The original design had solar panels in a big block here, which I then deleted, but you need a bit of solar power to kick the process off. Because you've also got this space here which you need to feed the initial fluoroketone into the fusion reactors. And then the only difference is that you put another 2, or you repurpose 2 of the crushers at the end to crush the asteroids that you don't want. So this is the metallic asteroid crushing one. So if you do get a legendary ice or a legendary carbonic asteroid, excuse me, if you do get a legendary ice or legendary carbonic asteroid, you want to repurpose that, and there's a good chance that you'll get even more legendary asteroids out of it, because this gives you... well, it doesn't really. It's actually less likely to give you an asteroid back, but it's a non-zero chance, basically. So yeah, so that's the metallic one, that's the carbonic one. Just don't forget to change your recipes for your inserters. It did cross my mind, actually, that it might be worth doing some magic, some weird magic, right, with the... don't know exactly how you would do this. Because we're short on carbon, we're not short on sulfur. And the carbonic asteroid crushing recipe gives you 5 carbon and 2 sulfur. If you don't need it, then you could just change it to the regular carbonic asteroid crushing recipe in legendary form, which gives you 10 carbon but no sulfur. So there's something to be said here for... this is 8.4 carbon. There's something to be said here for doing some kind of magic with... you know, you could read the contents of this and attach that to a combinator, and then the combinator sends either this recipe signal, advanced crushing, or regular crushing signal. It sends either one of those 2 signals depending on whether there is like 100 sulfur in here or not. I haven't done that. It's worth exploring, especially because legendary sulfur, you do need some, but there's no reason you need it to make sulfuric acid, because as soon as you turn it into a fluid, it's irrelevant. So the only thing you actually need it for is either the coal synthesis, which, you know, yes, we probably will need some. We'll definitely need some legendary coal because, well, no, do we though? Because plastic's going to come from low density structures eventually. So it might be the case that we just bail on the advanced carbonic asteroid crushing recipe altogether once we're through this period of, because we're still of course grinding out. The reason we're doing it now is because the only way we're getting legendary plastic is through the coal, because currently the legendary plastic is being repurposed into the LDS recipe to make all of the steel and copper that we want. I was doing another quick little play with whatever this one's called, selector combinator, to try and like see if I could get a quality sorter going, and I think I've worked sort of something out here with my parameterized builds. Let's say, for example, speed module 2s with other things, just for fun. Extra slots on the parameters, just in case. So this sends signals through, and then the selector combinator outputs that item with the direct selection quality and modifier, which then sets the filter of the green chest. This isn't hugely useful, but like it can be for things like... Oh, recyclers was probably a better idea, actually. Let's choose recyclers, because we've got various quantities of recyclers hanging around. Trash unrequested. Ding! We dinged. We did ding. Yeah, we got various qualities of recyclers hanging around. One. I've selected one for some reason. Or, there appear to be some special laser turrets there for some reason. So this is possible. As I say, it doesn't have very wide-ranging applications, but there is a world, I suppose, where you have a gigantic mall. But then you'd only want that if you were somehow producing all qualities of this. Like, this is more likely to work somewhere on Fulgora, where you're doing absolute madness like this. You know, and you have loads of different qualities of stuff flying around because you're doing upcycling. But then if you're doing upcycling, you don't want it in a box over here, you want it in the system. So, you know, it's possible, and I've mostly just built this for my own sanity, so that I can go to a planet and, as I say, like I can go to Fulgora and just say, show me how much of each. I mean, I know you can do that now, you know, processing units. But all the processing units are being upcycled. They're either staying normal quality or they're being upcycled into legendary. But electronic circuits is one where you kind of have a lot of qualities. So, I mean, that's of arguable value, but it is possible with the selector combinator. So that's a little treat for you there. Also, when I was doing that, you want to see something funny? You want to see something funny? Selector combinator. Wait, is it selector combinator? No, it's constant combinator, sorry. I was trying to do this with constant combinators to try and like compare qualities and stuff, but you can go into this. Usually the each and everything signal blank these out, but if you have the quality selected and then you go into here and you press everything and then you press tick and you try and compare that with another signal. Wait, each? Why have they fixed this? Have they literally fixed this overnight? My game didn't update. Wait, hang on folks. I think they may have fixed this, like literally overnight somehow. This caused my game to completely crash yesterday. Actual hard crash to the desktop. Amazing. They fixed it overnight. I didn't even see the patch get downloaded on Steam. There we go. Well done, Woob. Well done. I'm amazed that they fixed that, to be honest with you, because that caused me to crash twice while I was messing around with stuff. So, yeah. I tidied this system up. It was very annoying what it was doing before. It was back when I thought I was going to keep some of epic and some of uncommon, or rare, I should say. I'm not going to do that. Literally, it can all go in the garbage. I don't care. I want some legendary recyclers. I realise that we're bottlenecked on Fulgora by the speed of the recycling. Down here. The faster we can recycle, the faster we can get more legendary and epic quality modules. Because these machines are just sort of sat around doing nothing. Actually, they're full. But anyway. I want more scrap. I want more scrap being processed. Ding. But that's easily done. Oh, these are all filled up with iron as well, by the way. So we're on even more legendary iron here. Prod modules. Just regular prod modules. I'm not even put the legendary ones in here yet. Legendary recyclers of... crushers, I should say. Legendary crushers. That's what I'm talking about. Legendary recyclers is later. Legendary crushers. We are bottlenecked by the speed at which we can process asteroids, I suppose. We are, in a manner of speaking. A legendary crusher has a crafting speed 2.5 times. I feel like I've spoken about this. What am I talking about? Didn't I talk about this last time? What is this save file called? Legendary recyclers on Fulgora. No, I am talking about recyclers. Sorry. Yeah. Legendary recyclers on Fulgora. That's right. Okay, yeah, I should do better than this. This Fulgora shuttle is going to pop to Vulcanus, which I hate. The only reason I'm doing it is because we don't need the science packs. Once we're done with this low density structure thing, I will build another spaceship that is more specifically designed for going around and doing shopping tasks like this, because the problem with this is that Fulgora and Vulcanus are in complete opposite directions. So this ship goes to Vulcanus, picks up the stuff to make legendary recyclers, and then has to go back past Nauvis to go to Fulgora to make the stuff. Now, of course, you say, why don't you reorder the things to do it like this instead? And that's very smart, but that still doesn't really solve the problem because... I mean, it kind of does, in a way. But, yeah. So, of course, recyclers can only be made on Fulgora. They need a 99% magnetic field crafting surface condition. Obviously. But that's easily done. You just ask the cargo bay to get that for you. You make some legendary iron gear wheels, and you make some legendary recyclers, which is good. As I say, we can use that to scale up our scrap processing just here and generally on Fulgora. That's nice. Wow, I got so distracted. Sorry, I'm really rushing. I'm phoning this one in, guys. It's Tuesday evening, and this video has to go live on Wednesday afternoon. I'm not going to have time to record it tomorrow. I have time to record it now, and then I'm going to bed. But that's fine. Make the video shorter, everyone says to me. Make the videos shorter. Why are the videos so long? Stop making the videos so long. No one says that. No one watches, that's why. That's not true. Yeah. So what are the ships looking like now? If we go into global statistics for iron ore, legendary iron ore, in the last 10 hours, hour? I mean, it's not really hugely obvious when the ship went into service, is it? Here, possibly? Possibly here? Like, these peaks are quite low. These peaks are much higher. It might be this. But as I say, it's not really about amount. It's not really about a bottleneck. It's about future-proofing the system. It's about making sure that if we don't need more iron, the whole system doesn't back up. Now this is... Why are you complaining about... Oh yes, of course, we want productivity modules in this. This was always designed to have prod module 3s in. 533 science per minute instead. So we're still waiting on that. Eggs is of course a problem, but we'll solve that in a minute. And science labs. So this is 1,807. Because we've added extra labs, we haven't got the prod module 3s yet for this. Okay. Now I'm confused about what's next, so give me a moment. I'll spend more than no time at all setting up the next segment. So with the legendary recyclers from Fulgora, we can process eggs a lot faster, so we doubled up the egg gambling. Twice as many egg. I'm in two minds as to whether this is overkill or not. Because this makes 870 egg per minute. But one legendary recycler can process 96 eggs per minute. So of course you only need like 10 at the most. But 25% of them come back out, so this is net minus 72 egg. So that's 864. What did I say? That was 870. So you definitely need... Yeah. It's possible I can repurpose some of these. But at this point, whatever. You know, we are ironically... I don't actually know if this is ironic or not. We are somewhat ironically getting to the point in the game where legendary gear is not, you know, there's no reason to hoard it anymore. There's no reason to have to pick and choose where it goes. Yes, definitely, we have to pick and choose where the modules go. But legendary stuff in general is not, at least what we already have, is not really a problem. We can make legendary beacons, we can make legendary productivity modules, we can make legendary recyclers. We do have to send my boy out and about, but you know, that's not too laborious, and it will be even less laborious when we build the special science, not special science ship, when we build the special shopping ship. We leave the science ships to their own devices, and all those will do is go backwards and forwards between the science planet and now these. Ding! The other ding is a different ding. It's ever so slightly different noise. It's the same actual sound in the game files, but it's at a different pitch. So that's a fun game for you. See if you can tell the difference. This has made 154 in its entire life. Most of those have gone into the labs and the purple science. But we are kind of just trying to find stuff to do here, really. Kicking our heels. Because as soon as we get low density structure, productivity 13, 14 done, 15 as well, Christ, then we can go back to Vulcanus and just basically do Vulcanus again, but make things legendary. You know? Just make everything on Vulcanus legendary from stage 1. And that's what we'll do next time, for sure. This time, we're kind of just kicking our heels and waiting for this to tick over. And yeah, I suppose I could leave it AFK, and as I say, nothing is broken. Gleba is still totally fine. Even adding the extra egg gambling here has not caused a strain on the bioflux that's coming in. The fact that we're not using any agricultural science packs for the last God knows how long is not causing a problem. This is stopping, but only because I took all the belts out of the ship, so the same ship that is taking the science also needs to sit and wait for the you know, 20 rockets worth of transport belts to fill it up. But again, I will fix that by adding a special shopping ship that's just going to go around and pick up all the good stuff and take it to the planet that we want. What are you doing? What are you doing in here? How did this happen? Oh, I know how this happened. The cargo bay is on trash unrequested. Which does mean that if you want your Fulgora ship to quickly make a move and you dump all the electromagnetic science out of it, it goes into the cargo bay. But the cargo bay is only set to 1,000. So it goes straight into the trash slots. Which I don't agree with. Why doesn't this work in the same way as the logistics things, you know, where you say, I always want 1,000, but don't take them away from me unless I have more than the second number, which, you know, is how I have my robots set up. I don't want more than 175 robots. If I pick up a construction roboport and it's full of robots, or I accidentally right-click a hovering robot on its way past me, I don't want to keep that forever. I want that to go back into the system. Why does that not do the same thing in a cargo bay? So that's kind of annoying, but whatever. The sushi, the belt sushi, it's lovely, it's glorious. Okay, let's try and find something else to do while we kill some time. We'll get the Calcite asteroid farming ship up and running. It's just waiting on legendary crushers, but thankfully the regular crushers are from Now Vis, so we can get enough crushers up and running to get fuel and ammo and stuff sorted. We're just sending this to Vulcanus to get it done. The only thing we need to do is just change the filters. This is the Calcite one, so this one only needs to output legendary oxide asteroid chunks. And the same with you, except you are blacklist that. What is he doing? It's a very good question. Yeah, cool. And on Now Vis, I thought I would at least try and use some of the new goodies. So I've used the productivity module, the legendary productivity module Mark IIs, and some legendary beacons and legendary speed modules. This isn't even a legendary furnace, alright? This is a foundry, rather. This is a bog standard foundry. And a bog standard electromagnetic plant. Even this is 1.7 blue belts of green circuits. And because it's so damn productive, like this uses the excess molten copper from this system that we put in ages ago, because this is overscaled as well. This is 5,940 extra molten copper than you need. So that kind of works out. So we've taken the copper demand out of this. And the iron, you can see where iron with a 0. 1 hour. Consumption. Production. I mean, you can see that it's also now using less iron just because of the fact that this is working faster but at 125% productivity, whereas before, what was the old design? I think the old design just had efficiency beacons modules in, didn't it? Because that was the problem on Now Vis at the time when we designed it. Yeah. So these were running at 50% productivity, whereas now they're running at 125% productivity, and, you know, it's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. Same for red circuits. I didn't have to change the design of this one up very much. I'm still making the copper cable because the copper cable requirements for this is a lot lower than it is for electronic circuits. But, you know, I put prod modules in, legendary beacons, legendary speed modules. This now makes 1,350 compared to what we were making before, which was about 1,200, I think. Yeah, 1,100 before, now we're making 1,500. Making 1,500, but when you look at something like the plastic production versus consumption, this is when Red Circuits was running at full tilt, and now we're using less plastic than we were before, but for even more output. And I did this because I could see that Red Circuits were kind of faltering here. This was using a lot more Red Circuits, especially with the upgrade to the blue science as well. This is using 442 advanced circuits, this was using 865, so this module wasn't keeping up. So I added the productivity. They're busted. They're too good. The mega bases are going to be massive. They're going to be massive. And I knew that, but you know, I hadn't actually seen it with my own eyes on my own 144 hertz monitor. Humble brag, humble brag. Low density structure productivity 13 is still ticking over. Double egg farming is going very well. Double egg farming nets you about 0.4 eggs a minute. Which is much better than the 0.2 eggs a minute we had before we doubled it up. I know for a fact, I know that's not what that is showing me when I click this graph, but it kind of is, because the double egg has only been in for a little bit, so the 10-hour average is more accurate to what we had before. But I know that it was 0.2 because that's what I saw it was at when I doubled it up, because I realised that 1 every 5 minutes, 1.5 every 5 minutes, let's not forget, was just not cutting it. So, you know, now it's 0.4 every minute, so what's that? 1 every 2.5 minutes, which is a bit better. 1.5 every 2.5 minutes is a bit better. And now we know this works, we could maybe even triple this up, you know? It's not really using that much bioflux. Asteroid farming, you have arrived. You are all sorted. Good. Oh, now you need to come back to Navis and get the quality modules, but that's okay, we can sort that. Right. We are still kicking... What the dickens? How did that happen? Everything's just ticking... Ding. Everything's just ticking over, you know? It's all just ticking over. So let's go to Folgora and put those bloody legendary recyclers in and see how that breaks everything, because it will, and it does. Okay, just a small warning here. There's a lot of logistics robots flying around. A lot of logistics robots flying around. The YouTube compression is probably going to go in the toilet, and it's also probably messy to look at. So, you know, just fair warning on that one. Okay? Here we go. This is a legendary recycler with a with this regular speed beacon imparting 225% crafting speed, and it's processing a lot of scrap. Too much scrap. So much scrap that we had to also upgrade the recyclers that were voiding items. A couple of legendary bulk inserters to actually get the trash in the recycler as fast as we were producing it. And also we had to do something with all the iron gear wheels, because this is producing 6,599 iron gear wheels a minute. So we do mostly the same thing we do with the steel. You know, we turn the steel into chests, and then the chest recycles a lot faster than the individual iron plates or steel bars, because the recycling time, if you didn't know, is a function of the original item's crafting time, and steel takes 16 seconds, whereas a steel chest only takes half a second. We do roughly the same thing here. An iron gear wheel is fast to craft, but we have so many of them. We have so many of them that it's still better to put when you know, because you get the iron back, right? You don't. There's nothing that just takes iron gear wheels to craft. So you recycle these and you get the iron, and then recycling the iron takes you a lot longer, because an iron plate takes 3.2 seconds to craft. So you then need craft the iron into chests, crush the chests. That chests give you some iron back. I was finding that I couldn't just feed this back into itself because it was clogging. It was just producing too much iron, so this has to go into another separate recycler, which then feeds itself backwards and forwards. And this sort of contraption is just about balance. Just about, you know, like. And yeah, we had a lot of iron gear wheels at one point. A lot of iron gear wheels. So, yeah. 10 hours of just the normal, and then I put the legendary crushers in with some speed beacons, and oh, whoops. Pretty much doubled the amount of gear wheels we're getting out, so we had to suddenly crush a whole bunch, because they were clogging up the system something fierce. So it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess, but this is also ripe for being torn down once we have everything we need, because this, of course, is primarily just for farming quality modules, which we've needed to get everything kick-started. Now that we've got an actual reliable source of legendary greens, reds, blues, we can make legendary quality module Mark IIs. We just have to then find a way to get legendary superconductors, which is of course the headache, but we can do the same thing we were doing before. We can use legendary quality module Mark IIs in a lot of places, because they'll be +5 legendary %, which is, you know, pretty good. If we've got guaranteed that, if we can get that guaranteed somewhere, then we can tear this whole thing down. It's still, you know, it's still ticking along, and it's going a lot faster now that we're processing a lot more scrap. But I am aware that this area is extremely messy. But this is the bootstrap base, folks. This is the day 4 hour 13 bootstrap base for the legendary quality mega base that we're going to get 500 hours from now. I'm in this one for the long haul, alright? Ding. I'm in this one for the long haul. I'm not going to start a new file. I feel like this Space Age expansion has been deliberately designed to just be more to keep you going, you know? Like more... It's designed in such a way that I think 1.1 had not a problem, but it felt like sometimes it was easier to start a new file and try something new than it was to just redesign your base. Whereas Space Age is sort of designed in a way where, because there's so much extra and there's so much further down the line, that never feels viable to me. I never feel like I want to start a new save file. I feel like I want to tear this down and start again, yes. But I don't ever feel like starting a new save file would be quote-unquote quicker. And it was never quicker in 1.1 either. It's just that the base has got so messy that you were like, no, I'm going to start again, and this time I'm going to do it ding, and I'm going to do it properly. This is absolutely flying along now for some reason. 96 productivity modules in here. And we're on low density structure 14. This is going to take another hour. And then 437,000 at 2,000 a minute. So that's going to take about another 200 minutes. But once that's done, I feel like that is the new fresh start. We'll go to Vulcanus. We'll get rid of this completely. This whole area here completely. This is clogged up because we're even full of bloody legendary low density structures. It's just clogged up in such a way that this is funny. This foundry can't pick up a legendary piece of plastic. This one can't pick up an epic piece of plastic. and all the way down the line to the point where it is actually completely clogged. If any one of these foundries could pick up any piece of plastic from a different quality, it would be fine. Yeah, see? Change the quality of that one to uncommon, and it can kickstart itself back up. What are the chances? Where does that plastic go? It goes in the trash, doesn't it? If you rotate this and change the recipe, there's a trash slot? Yeah, there's trash slots. No, Control Z doesn't fix that. It's just it was happening so fast that the inserter was dealing with it before we had a chance to notice what was going on. Oh no, and now there's plastic on the inside of the belt. This is the one thing we didn't want to happen. So yeah, we'll tear this down and we'll do... We won't need to actually make plastic anymore because we'll have legendary plastic from the low density structures. The bus will look weird because it will like start with low density structures and then we'll add plastic, steel, copper to it. We'll have to somehow work out how we're going to get the legendary iron over. It might be that we move the cargo landing pad to like a new space. I did go around and use glyph explosives and kill some more demolishers. Just, you know, as I say, needed something to do. I need something to bloody do. So yes, as always, that's what I've been up to, and I realised that it was a bit of a slow progress this episode. Not a huge amount happened. I started making railguns on Aquilo because at one point I thought I would kill the time by actually taking the journey to the Shattered Planet. Because of course the other thing we could do to speed up research production would be to actually get some of this Prometheum Science Pack done. Confession, I have never made a Prometheum Science Pack. In my first vanilla playthrough I got to the Solar System Edge and I went, right, good, that's the end of that. And I took a break before I started this series. So I've never actually done this, but this would require taking a ship out to the Solar System Edge, getting some Prometheum asteroid chunks, getting some quantum processors, and then I assume just coming back to Nauvis and then getting the Biter eggs shipped up while you're in orbit around Nauvis, because you don't really want to take Biter eggs out with you to the Solar System Edge unless you're extremely bold. But that makes 10 Prometheum Science Packs. And this needs 2,000, but of course it doesn't actually need 2,000 because of the huge amounts of productivity. But then this would make each Science Pack... Sorry, it needs 1,200. This would make each Science Pack worth 10% more just by itself. So it's arguable that this would have been better to do a couple of levels of this before I went all in on this. All in on 437,000 Science Packs. But if this is going to take 4 hours, 4 or 5 more hours to research, there's a chance I try and get that ship up and running and bring Prometheum asteroid chunks back and then research that while we start on Vulcanus. So that's the rough plan anyway. That's the rough plan. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see and if you want to see more broadcasts from Space Age, be sure to subscribe. Other than that, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.